Single, is it becoming a thing? It's becoming by choice more and more popular. So are people breaking off because they're realizing the worth of being alone? Is being a single person a reflection on how we value ourselves as a person? What is your true sense of value if you're a couple or if you're single? What is there? Is there a fine line there? Because being a couple is just being a married person, engaged or, romantically involved with somebody. But being single and knowing your self-worth, that's something different than knowing your self-worth as a couple, isn't it? I think one of the hardest mindsets to overcome is to decouple yourself when you're identifying whether or not your value is real, your self-worth, what it is to you, what it means to you. Hello everyone, my name is Chris with One Be Healthy Life, and today our podcast is I'm going to give it to you from a single person's perspective on what it's like to be single and to be happy and to have this great sense of value and self-worth. And I challenge that because I don't believe you get that in a marriage, in a relationship. I think you can only have that great self-worth if you are truly alone. I am going to give you this broadcast from a single person's perspective, which is me. And I have to set the record straight here and speak for many of us that are looking at it from our view. Welcome. The pressures today of marriage, seriously, relationships and sex, it's been weighing heavy on me lately. People around me that know me and love me, they put the pressure on me to go out and find somebody. I have been divorced again, and it doesn't matter how many times, and there's reasons why, I guess. And I look at my life now at 60 and I think, have I been married because I am falling into the idea that marriage is the way we need to be? Being a couple is the way society has formatted us to think that the only way to survive in this world is to be a couple and you shouldn't be alone. And, it kind of strips away a single person's identity, one person identity, one true identity. When we're growing up as children, they want us to figure our world out and figure out our life. And then we get older and we meet somebody and it's like our friends are getting married and everybody around us is getting married. So we feel we need to fall into that and fall in line with that and become that. And we didn't even figure out who the hell we were. So we go into a relationship very early on, not even knowing our own self-worth. And we try to figure that out along the way, and it doesn't work. And we become, single again. We get divorced, and then we find another person, and we try to figure out our identity again. And we're always trying to define ourselves through or with another person. And that is not what to do. And it doesn't take a psychologist to tell you this. This is just regular, normal wisdom that came and was earned through life. This is just information that you obtain through wisdom from other people that have already paved the way. You cannot find your self-worth in a relationship. I do not believe it. I do not believe it because I've come to the point so far in my life that I have never been as happy as I am where I'm at right now. And I wish that I had developed this mentality of just sitting still for a minute and being quiet for a minute and taking on that single format. And I can even go back 30 years. After my first marriage, I just hurry up, get into another one because you have a son and you need to, you have Christmases and you need to be with family and you need to be with other people and you need to have somebody. You need to have somebody. That I hear that shit a lot. You don't need to have somebody. Singleness isn't a problem to be solved. It's not a bad thing. And I get criticized for it all the time. And I'm 60 and people think you're just going to grow old together. And I think, okay, and what is the harm in that? You're younger. What do you know about growing old like that? I gave up not only being single, let me just say that, but I also gave up dating. It's not just about being single, it's about even giving up dating. It's not like I'm on a search or quest to find somebody to fill this void. I don't have a void. I no longer have a void. And while I was younger, coming out of even my first divorce, I thought there was a void. Yes, there was. The void wasn't the other person, the void was me. It was inside me. And at One Be Healthy Life, the podcast, the whole concept of the Be Healthy lifestyle and our blog and our website and our supplements, it's all together. It's one Be Healthy life, and that's what it means. And that's what I'm here to try to help resolve for other people. I think there's only two sides here. You're either healthy or you're unhealthy. And being unhealthy and being healthy, there's different levels of that. So right now, as far as being single, I am on a very healthy level with that. My mind is strong, my body is strong, my perspective on things are strong. I am not I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. And I gave up dating. I am absolutely now the best version of myself, and I don't want somebody to take that. Sometimes I fear that. And I think that's why I've stepped back from dating, because the little bit of dating that I've done, and maybe one day I'll run into somebody and it'll click. But right now, I don't want anybody to kill my joy. I don't want anybody to take from me what I feel I've earned. And this is a place that I'm trying to help people get to. So if you just are finding yourself recently divorced or single and you're probably pushing that second divorce that you've done, and you just want to make that jump, there's a little fear there, but there's got to be somewhere to go. If everybody's pushing you into find somebody, and that's what society has done since I was a little kid. That's all I remember ever hearing is you have to grow up, you have to get married, you have to get a job, and you have to have your kids, and you have to raise your family, and you have to. You don't have to do shit. And now if you find yourself in your second divorce or a long time first divorce and you're 50 years old looking at life going, what the hell am I going to do? This is my answer. Anything you fucking want. That is it. I just spoke to a woman the other day. She just got tossed out of this marriage. I mean, it's been coming. She just didn't want to see the signs. And she's outside the house. And she's looking at her life saying, what the hell am I going to do now? And I said, anything you want. Anything you want. This podcast was created, like most, on the basis of questions that I get overwhelmed and I can't answer them. And I feel like if people are asking questions, then there's a need. And if I see a need, then I want to help. I want to do that. And that's what I want to do. And so when you find yourself single, you have to try to develop a new perspective. You have to embrace the single life, just even for a moment. And if you want me to be brutally honest here, which of course I'm going to, you have to let that uncomfortableness be your fuel, your power. So I'm trying to think of the time here, but this will be my third Christmas. So I've been single now for a couple years, and it's not my first time being single in my life. And I've enjoyed the times when I reflect back. And where I'm at right now is equivalent, in my opinion. And this is just my little analogy here. This is my equivalent. My happiness right now is like the honeymoon phase. And I've been single now for a couple of years, and I'm in the honeymoon phase of my own life. And that is equivalent to when you meet somebody and you're all giddy and you love each other and you love each other's stupid habits of that are going to annoy you in a couple years, that's going to ultimately probably push you away further and start that whole thing. But being in my position now is powerful. It's not anything that I am complaining about. It's a wonderful feeling to get to this point, and it was a little bit of a struggle to get to this point, but I'm selfish. I've always been selfish, but I've also been a person that never knew how to say no, and I had that get in the way, excuse me, of myself and finding myself. And I've stripped myself a lot of times of that. So being single, it can be new, it can be empowering. It's definitely a new way of thinking. And what we end up developing is this new sense of freedom. And a lot of times at first people get stupid, they go out and they buy fancy cars that they can't afford, and they get, their bodies start to change and their mind starts to change, and everybody looks at them like, oh, he's going through a midlife crisis or she's going through a midlife crisis. And maybe so, and in some true form, that has to happen. But you kind of, after the dust settles and you realize that you have this time and how you want to make it valuable to you, that's when you start becoming powerful for yourself. And for us single people that choose to live alone, we become, these captains of our own ship. We control it. We do our own schedule. We set our own time. We don't have any limits. We arrange everything in our home the way we like it. We decide what to eat, when to sleep, when to exercise, how we want to look, what we want to watch on TV. I can go on and on. I mean, I love being single. And I found myself in the beginning defending that I was actually starting to enjoy it. And I found people around me that weren't single were getting jealous and picking out things about me. If I can't open a jar, I don't fucking eat it. I just put the jar away. I don't give a shit. I'll buy another jar. I'll figure it out. I'll get a hammer. I don't know. I could take a screwdriver and go around and tighten my door jams. I'm a female. I may not have done those things and allowed you to be the man in the house and gave you all these little tasks to do to keep you busy or make you feel like a man. I don't know. But I am capable of doing this. And so are women. There's some women that are badass that can do things that I get jealous at. I watch them on TikTok and I think, I can do that then. I can do that then. So they show practical things that, maybe I didn't develop those little quirks over the years, but I'm starting to do that now. But I can take care of my own property. I can take care of my own house. You know, I am 60 years old. I own my own home. I make my own money. I am healthy. I am healthy mentally. I am healthy physically. I don't want somebody telling me I can't get more dogs. I don't want somebody telling me I can't, you know, change the decor of my house. I literally have this set life that I don't want anybody interjecting. So that is why I stopped dating, because I'm afraid. I'm afraid to have anybody disrupt that. Another debate that was brought to me, I had a question, and a woman she made some comments on about, people in the holidays and, the traditions, and why can't I follow that? Like, why did I just, decide that that stuff didn't matter? And I thought, well, she's known me for a while and I get that debate. But, holidays, for some reason, we emphasize that holidays relate solely to couples. That's not true. Couples don't own holidays. We have lots of people, it's old fashioned. Yes, there's traditional stuff, but, evolution is necessary. We have come a long way. I get melancholy sometimes. This is, again, like I said, my third Christmas coming up, and it's already November. and I'm starting to plan that. And I have my son and I have my grandchildren. But, when I step back and I think about it, I absorb every minute with my grandchildren, every minute. So if somebody's in the room with me, or I have somebody joining me, for dinner, or I'm a couple, I don't spend my time with that person anyway. So I don't know if that's true or not. And if you have that other person and you only have so much attention to give, not everybody that you really want to give the attention to is going to get that full focus of you. So I don't cheat my grandchildren, and I'm going to be selfish about it, and I'm not going to want to cheat you out of it if you feel you need to have that. So, these Hallmark, pictures that have been painted, that portray that family of that generational ambiance of a family kicking it together and cooking and laughing, and everybody is so happy and whipping each other with a towel, that kind of shit. You know, yes, I had that in my 20s. When I was married, I thought, this is what life is supposed to be. When we launch our lives out from our teen years and we enter the world, and friends around us start getting married before us, and children start coming around out of those relationships, you kind of want to jump on that ship and get into it. And while that's something that you do, some stay together forever, and then the divorces start, and then we all start getting divorced together. And you know, that's a fantasy that we manifested from our teen years, our younger years, grow up and get married and have that beautiful wedding. And, we manifested that, we created it. And whether that person was right for us or not, we wanted it anyway. We didn't care as long as we had it. But it was exhausting. And a lot of times people will enter, and I'm probably guilty of it, relationships, and we didn't even become a whole person ourselves. So if you're not even a whole person when you get into a relationship, how can you give somebody all of you when you're only half of you to begin with? And I think that's what causes a lot of conflict and a lot of miscommunication and a lot of resentment. And now, when you bring children into a mix, forget about it. Everybody has to step back and prioritize and give those children, a life. And you want to say, I want to give my child something better than me. Well, you had the opportunity to give yourself something better before you became a thing and a couple. And I don't know where or when you can grab somebody by the horns before they dive into that and say, listen, take this backpack and go figure out who the F you are, and get out there into the world and figure it out. Find your self-worth, find your self value, what you want to do, who you want to be, what you like, what you don't like, so that when you do come full circle and you find another person that clicks with you, I don't believe we can find that person while we're finding ourselves. Those people aren't together. Those people never follow through with it. Those people will find conflict. And when you get into a marriage and then you decide, one person puts another one through school, and then you say, okay, at the end of this, we'll do me. I don't get it. I think that's a problem there. And I know right now, I'm going to tell it publicly. That is why I have gotten divorced the times that I've gotten divorced, because you can't come into this and halfway through pull out and say, oh, I need to do this. Are you going to follow me and support me? If you love me, you will. Well, if I love you, I won't. And I am friends, not enemies. And I'm talking, there's no animosity here with everybody that I have broken up with. In honesty, I can tell you that because we parted because of that reason. I no longer want to support you. I don't need to support you. And if you are asking me to support you, then you don't know who the hell you are, because you shouldn't have to have 100% from somebody else to give you what you're lacking. If you want to go and start a new career, or you want to go race, or you want to go travel or you want to do something else, go do it. And I'm giving you that freedom to go do it. That's the best thing I can give you because you need to do those things. That's a superpower. And you don't need me to give you superpower. You need you. And if you do need me, then there's a problem. I can't, I read so much on people trying to figure out, the difference between being a single and being a couple and trying to find yourself. It's not a miserable thing being alone. It's a miserable thing being alone in a relationship. To me, being with somebody isn't a magical cure. You're not allowed to be single. You're not allowed to be happy, and you're not allowed to make your own rules. I don't know what a couple puts a lot of restrictions on you. You start self-sacrificing, and the word selfish comes into play a lot when you're a couple, and I hear that a lot. I'm a workaholic. I like it quiet. I like things the way they are. I like my house to look like it's not lived in, except for what my animals do. But they have a they have a love part, and they could do whatever they want. Those things right there. I like to write. I like businesses. I like to be alone. I like to not listen to music, especially in a car. Um, I'm a homebody. There's a lot of things about me that I don't know how another human would fit. So while I tried to fit another human into my life, it just always became uh just uncomfortable for both parties. And that's why it was easy for me to be able to step back or for the other person to want to step back. And I'm okay with that. Um, I just read an article. It's a baby boomster article or something like that, some lifestyle for women. And why do single women over 60 prefer to live without a man, and why they've been divorced, and why there's so many advantages to it. But then towards the end of the article, it's discussed a lot of disadvantages to being single. And I thought, okay, well, you just took this article and flipped it. And basically, to me, it's all about mental health. And getting older, you shouldn't have a fear of growing old alone. Do you need somebody to catch you if you fell on the floor? Get yourself one of those little necklaces that, help, I've fallen, and you get to hit it and 911 comes. I don't know. Do you need somebody to help you get around? I know I've also heard a few women talking about men that are older always want a younger woman, um, because they want somebody to take care of them. I think that is absolutely true. And that's sad to think that, because us as women aren't looking for a man to take care of us that way. Um, so I'm not sure about it. And I have one ex that, I mean, the ink wasn't dry on the divorce papers, and he was already in another relationship to have that. So he wanted somebody to take care of him, and I get that, and no disrespect to him on this, and it doesn't matter, but I do know that happens, and it's actually kind of sad to think that. But it's not like I don't love men. It's not like I don't love sex and a companion and love to go out to dinner and have fun. And while I entertain every single one of those things, at the end of the day, when I come through the door, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to be responsible for anything. And I don't want to have to answer to anybody. I want my own thoughts to be my own, and I want my own conversation to be my own. And I talk to myself a lot and out loud, thank you very much. And it's okay. And I believe it's okay. I can't I can't explain to people how good a feeling it is to be very healthy with yourself. Unhealthy and what it looks like in a relationship, I've been there. That is not healthy, because in with one Be Healthy life, I want to help people understand that if you're going to be facing a single situation soon, you need to find the worth out of it. You need to find the good out of it, and you need to make it amazing. You have to in order to survive it. And I guess you have to do that in a relationship as well, but we're not talking about couples right now. We're talking about couples on that side of the track because that's what you're either on one side or the other. And the couples that I know of are, looking at me like there's something wrong, and yet I get to look at them and say, I think there's something wrong. I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want to to worry about my life, the rest of my life. I can't speak for every couple. I just can only speak for the 60 years that I've been in and out of relationships as a couple, and the people that I am close to and the things that I know about their relationships. But today, speaking as a couple's, I don't want to. I want to speak as a single person. I take a minute with myself, I check myself, and I I reinvent my wheel, so to speak. I go to work and I come home and I can be so productive with myself. I love it. I love it. I get to know who the fuck I am every day. I don't have to worry about who you are. I get to learn my body in a different way like you wouldn't believe. I get to learn how my mind thinks. I get to learn about protection. I get to learn about survival. I get to be healthier about those choices and what I'm doing and being conscious. When I live with someone, my guard is down, and that is not cool. And being alone, let me tell you, I have keen senses that I didn't even know existed, and it's extremely important, especially now. And this world is ugly. And I think the fear with being single is right away you you think about all of the items and all of the things that you gave another person the responsibility of yourself. You relied on them to the degree that you became weak in those things. And now you're single and you're like, oh, fuck, I have to pay the bills. Oh, fuck, I have to, figure this out. And how am I going to take the garbage out? And how am I going to do this? And how am I going to do that? Because you became so dependent on another human life that now you have to go and grab another one. So because you're too lazy or you're too uneducated or you're too uninformed about what to do to make it so that you can be 100% self-sufficient. I have to be 100%, and that's it. I don't want to rely on another person. I do not. I do not want to. I have seen older couples that have been married for years, and one will pass away and the other one just deteriorates. It passes away with it. I don't know how or why somebody wants to live with the billions of people in this earth that you only want to experience one other human 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And you say, but that's it. Okay, fine. I mean, I guess there's something to that. I can't identify with that. And I'm 60. I just never could identify with that. And as long as we both shall live, that's okay. That was a long time ago. But it's as long as we both shall love, actually. Because when you no longer love somebody, and I'm talking about truly love somebody, if you want to spend your life with somebody, loving them and them being your friend, and just saying, okay, well, then just let's have friends live together. We're married together. I mean, that's just, I know we were born on this earth as a man and woman, and we're to create a world together and have children and live. And you didn't live that long way back then when they did that. But nowadays you're going to live 80, 90 years, and it's going to be with one person side by side. I'm going to find that cheating yourself to have another person, to have yourself, to have whatever. But this person will die on you. And, generally those long distance relationships, that person generally does not move on. They deteriorate and they're stuck. And they've basically given their whole world to another human life. And I don't think that's what we were created for. I don't want to give all of me to somebody. And I know there's some beautiful songs out there that'll bring tears to your eyes about that, all of you and all the shit like that, just two people that can't live without another person. And, I'm probably going to get the shit beat out of me verbally on social media for this, but it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Being in love is great. It really is. It's fun. It's fun. Sex, making love, going away, having conversations, cracking up, having a good time with somebody. It's fun, but it is not for the long haul with someone. It's going to fade, and now you are going to be disappointed, and you're going to have to find another way, because you're not going to get that honeymoon phase back. And I don't know why it fizzles out. Everything fizzles out. Diets fizzle out. Jobs fizzles out. Everything fizzles out. We are on a constant roller coaster ride our entire life. You find the woman or the man, and you get your great job, and you're making all kinds of money, and you go get a big fat house with a big fat mortgage, and you start having kids, and God, you're living this life, and there's barbecues, and there's friends, and oh my God, it's picture perfect. And you're 35 years old, and all of a sudden everything starts to go a different way. And now you can't capture it again. And it becomes, the high is gone. That high is gone. And now you have to create another world. And that's what we were created pretty much to do. But if you can't fall back on being comfortable single and being alone, if you can't be happy in that, you won't be able to jump and spring back out to the world again. The only way to survive in this world is to be healthy. And you can't be healthy as a single person alone. You can't have direction and figure out where you want to go or who you want to be with and what you want to do if you're not healthy independently. I have found such a happy place right now. Like I said, I don't want anybody to disrupt it. I want to find somebody again one day, but I'm not sure for what purpose yet. I mean, I have some idea with some things, of course, and until I figure that out, it's going to stay like this. I have a lot going on. I have a very full plate. I'm very comfortable. I'm very happy. I'm content. And, companionship, of course. But couples and the idea of it, it's overrated, especially at my age. Especially at my age. If I was younger and I wanted to have a family and all, I would try to find somebody that would try to meet that same criteria that I was looking at. But there's other things I want to do. I mean, I'm 61 years old, and I'm getting ready to start college again in January and get another master's degree. And it's going to be in nutrition, of course, because that is what my company is, Be Healthy, and Be Healthy nutritional supplements. And so to get a master's degree in medical nutrition, yeah, that's what I'll be doing for the next year. So while I am doing that and maintaining my home, and of course, my animals and my grandchildren, and uh, doing that, exercising, anything else that I choose to do um, in that time, I am I am happy, and I am on a journey that I'm single doing it, and I can only give myself all of the, you know, rewards at the end, I guess. I can't say, if it wasn't for this or it wasn't for that. I've owned many businesses, and I've had very large companies that people would comment to me all the time that, if it wasn't for us, and I'm thinking, bullshit, So, and I've had marriages where husbands have said to me, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have been able to do those things, and I afforded you this and I allowed you to do that. And I thinking, you know what? Bullshit. I am here as a single person living alone in this world, on this earth, and I want to know how to take care of myself, even when zombies come back. Okay, I'm prepared. I'm prepared in every way. You can't break me. You can't hurt me. You can't um, belittle me. You can't put me in a corner. You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me how to spend my money. You can't uh, tell me how to live my life. I won't allow any other human being to do that. Nobody will ever have that kind of power over me. And I'm not trying to be arrogant. And if I go into a relationship again, I will not be arrogant with it. I'm a sweetheart. I mean, there's no way. I'm a very giving person. I'm a very loving person. And I'm a homebody. And I want peace. I don't like conflict. I don't like bullshit anymore. I don't like drama. And as long as I'm alone, I'm not giving myself all those things that I do not care for. I don't want to be involved in all that. And I believe as a couple, we bring that. I don't want a guy that has, you know, daughters that are all jacked up and are always constant drama in their life. I don't want that shit. I don't want your problems. I don't want somebody's, second divorced husband and that just won't settle down or wants his, doesn't want to give up his gambling or loves the internet with scrolling on Facebook for, women all the time. I don't want somebody's bullshit. I don't want somebody's debt. I don't want somebody's problems or laziness, you know? And they probably don't want my shit either. So it's best to step back. So if you're 50, 40, 50, 60, whatever, even 70, I don't care, whatever age, and you're soon to find yourself or you're already finding yourself alone and you're wondering, why can't I get it? You can. You can step back and try to figure out what the hell you are worth. And you are worth everything to yourself. You are cool, you are smart, you are sharp, you're independent, you're strong, you're anything you want to be. This broadcast was to give anybody that's struggling with the thought that, okay, I'm single. And I've had a few people comment, I'm single and I'm not happy. I'm single and I can't find a guy. I'm single and, oh, I can't figure this out. How am I going to pay my bills? I just got this little apartment and I'm wondering um, how I'm going to survive. Oh, the holidays are coming. This sucks. I mean, I hear this kind of shit all the time and I'm thinking, get off your fucking high horse here. If another person has to define your self-worth, then that's the problem right now. Get yourself healthy. Get your mind healthy. Get your body healthy. Get out of yourself and forget about yesterday because no good is going to come out of it. Take care of yourself. If you don't like your job, get a new one. If you're living in a little shithole, make it a good looking shithole. Get yourself some whatever you need to get to make your little shithole not a shithole anymore. Whatever you have to change. If you're overweight, lose the weight. If you want to go to the gym, go to the gym. Find people like you. Find other single people that likes being single. You can't force me to date. And if you think people aren't asking me, you're crazy. I say no, and I don't know why. Yes, I do know why. I do know why. I, I don't. I do know why. I don't want to date because I don't know. I know it's not going to go anywhere after that. You would really have to get my attention in order for me to have to want to spend what I consider every minute of my day, every ounce of my time is so valuable to me. That's my self-worth. My self-worth, that bar is so high. So high. I love myself. I love myself so much that I prefer to be by myself than to be with another person. And until I find that person that will give me that much energy, because I don't want anybody taking my energy. You are not coming in and pissing on my fucking picnic. You are not coming in and ruining my day. You are not coming in where I have to take a temperature of the room. I've been there, done that. It ain't going to happen to me ever again. And that is the decision I made. And if we learn by our mistakes, really learn by them. Because when a woman or a man is constantly getting into relationships that are not good for them, they have not learned a fucking thing. And that is just ignorant. That is stupid. And that is insecure. And that is telling me right there that that person has absolutely zero worth for themselves. Zero worth. And it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just means that their insecurities have overrode everything about them. And insecurities are not a good thing. That is not healthy. And at One Be Healthy Life, that's what we are. Friends, this broadcast was created on so many questions about people asking me, and not just on the internet, but personally, questions about my life. And I, from a single perspective, had to give that and share that today because I feel for the many single people that I know and the comments that I see about people being unhappy and single. Figure it out. You got to save yourself first, because you came into this world alone, you're leaving this world alone, and nobody is going to give a shit about the in between. I've been single for a while and I've been very happy. You don't have to settle for superficial connections. Your goals have to align. You have to protect your energy. You have to be productive when you're alone. You have to understand the power in your independence. You have to enjoy your own company, and you have to create a safe environment at home. And you need to reflect, and you need to grow, and you need to appreciate that one thing that you still have to keep in this world, and that is your freedom. Because we know how much that is being stripped of us now in society. 2024 people, your freedom is going away. And if you can have that, if you can have freedom in a marriage and you think you can say, oh, I have my freedom, the fuck you do. I have been married. You do not have freedom. And I have had some pretty distant marriages where I have had my own life, where I vacation alone. I still vacation alone. I vacation alone all through my marriages. I love that. I do not need to vacation with another person like that. If I did with friends, it was fine. But I've taken vacations as a married woman. But I'm saying that my choice was always by myself. And I don't know if I was trying to get away from that person or what. I don't know. We become selfish. So what is so wrong? What is so wrong about being selfish? Selfish is not a bad word if you're directing it towards ourselves. It involves prioritizing your needs and your values. Healthy selfishness, higher psychological well-being, a peace, finding peace in being single, loving yourself, and getting healthy in every aspect, finding boundaries, saying no, stepping back. Go be alone. If you have to change and be alone, be alone. It does not have to be forever, but you have to do it long enough to where you become so powerful at it. And if you ever decide to become a couple again after meeting someone, you will truly be a better person. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, friends, I thank you for joining me today on One Be Healthy Life. If you know anybody that is single and struggling, please give them this broadcast. If I can shed some light, piss them off, whatever. That is the whole point of it, is to, if it's going to hit a nerve either way, couple, married, single, getting ready to be single, getting ready to be married, I don't know. If it strikes a nerve, then there's a reason for it. Podcasts are designed to strike nerves. Absolutely. It's when somebody has something to say to more than one person. And if you see enough of a question, you know that there's an issue. So the issue that I have recognized is people around me that are single, that are unhappy, and I can't fucking figure out why. So, One Be Healthy Life, share this broadcast if you like it. Please join us on Facebook. We have a Be Healthy lifestyle. You can reach me pretty much anywhere if you want to toss comments, questions, whatever. I'll take good, bad, and ugly. You can't hurt me. So if you got something to say it. If you have something to share it. I have my podcast open. I have a few people that have been reaching out to me for me to have them on as a guest. I would love to do that. So if you have any kind of idea, please share that. I would love to have you on as a guest. Be Healthy nutritional supplements, BeHealthySupplements.com. We have a blog on our website which shows all our articles. I have written several articles. I have journals and self-help books, different things to help people be a healthier version of themselves. My name is Chris with One Be Healthy Life, and I wish you all to find your happiness, whether it be single or married. But at the end of the day, just know it has to be healthy. Thank you.